moment, Russian fighter jet intercepts two U.S. nuke bombers near border days after dramatic drone clash. A Russian fighter jet has intercepted U.S. nuclear bombers just days after an American drone was dramatically brought down. Footage taken from the Su-35 shows it flying beside one of two massive B-52 seconds as they approach Russian airspace, in the first encounter between the sides since the drone clash. Before the B-52 seconds were intercepted by Vladimir Putin's planes, a photo shows them being escorted by Polish F-16 jets over the Baltic Sea. It comes after Russian fighter jets dumped fuel on a U.S. Reaper drone before crashing into it above the Black Sea. In the latest incident, Russia's defense ministry said its radar detected two targets which were identified as U.S. Air Force B-52H bombers, the state-owned TASS news agency reported. The ministry said a Su-35 fighter jet took to the air in order to prevent a border violation. After that, the foreign military aircraft moved away from the Russian Federation state border. The Russian fighter returned to its base airfield. The Su-35's flight was strictly in line with international rules of the use of airspace during Monday's incident, added the ministry. No violation of the state border of the Russian Federation was permitted, it said. The Russians didn't reveal where the Su-35 seconds flew from, but some are known to be based in Kaliningrad, a Russian enclave on the Baltic. Flight tracking website Flightradar24 shows the one planes taking off from a base in Spain, flying over Sweden and then into international airspace, where it was intercepted. The plane continued to Estonian airspace before flying back over the Baltic Sea. The site explained that one plane showed up as it had its location transponder turned on, while the other most likely had it off in order to avoid setting off collision alerts. During last week's clash, a Russian Su-27 jet struck the propeller of the MQ-9 Reaper drone, forcing it to crash into the sea. The drone was taken down while flying near Russian-occupied Crimea and the Ukraine front line on Tuesday. Prior to the collision, which happened at 7 a.m. local time, two Su-27 seconds had dumped fuel on and flew in front of the MQ-9 in a reckless and unprofessional manner, the U.S. military said. Footage of the moment has now been released by the U.S. European Command. It shows one of the Russian fighter jets zooming towards the drone before flying above it, dumping fuel on it. Horrified U.S. military personnel in Germany watched a live feed from the drone as the Russian jets repeatedly flew around it, dumping fuel to damage cameras and sensors. Senior U.S. officials have been worried for months that some sort of incident over the Black Sea could lead to miscommunication and confrontation. The Russians said the drone maneuvered sharply and crashed into water after its fighter jets were scrambled to intercept it near Crimea. Moscow denied its warplanes came into contact with the drone and insisted they didn't fire their weapons to shoot down the drone, which would have been an act of war. The area has seen intense NATO military activity and is close to the front lines of the Ukraine war. The Russians reportedly said they won the race to retrieve the drone from the 3,000 feet under the Black Sea. The bringing down of the drone is part of Russia's increasingly dangerous pattern of behavior that experts fear could spark a wider conflict. U.S. researchers the RAND Corporation have compiled a report detailing hundreds of such incidents in recent years which they describe as coercive signaling. This is designed to send a message to the U.S. and other NATO planes and ships through unsafe and unprofessional conduct, with Russian aircraft increasingly armed.